Hello and welcome to the show. For today's rally car build, I have got a Rolls Royce. Yeah, you guys wanted to see me try taking the Wraith down the rally course, so I'm going to give it a go. Quite how well this is going to work, I am not sure. There is going to be much power and much weight and grip I'm not really confident on, so yeah, it might be quite crazy. It actually starts off halfway through A class. I think it's one of the highest starting PI vehicles I've had in this series. Can't change the engine, so we're going to be, not that we probably would need to, the standard engine in this will probably get plenty of power. We will though make it all-wheel drive, of course. We are going to be wanting aero parts, anything that might possibly give me a chance of having some grip would be very, very much important. We will, of course, be having the off-road compound tyre that now does jump us up into S1 class. What size were those? 305s on the front. They are some lovely big tyres at the front, and 335s at the back. Halfway through S1 class now, but it is still very heavy. And that is the perhaps biggest concern of the lot. We can do the full-on weight reduction. Brings it down to 4,300 pounds, and that's still, what, 3 times as much almost as the Ferrari that went out last time. I've gone from one extreme to the other, very much so. Now we should theoretically be nice and planted across the bumps a little bit. We shouldn't get thrown about so much over them, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm actually surprised about the PI in this shooting up so quickly, because, I mean, we've been getting silly levels of horsepower out of vehicles in this series so far. We've had 600-700 horsepower out of cars far lighter. Far lighter than this Wraith. I mean, admittedly, now that we are starting to add these on, they are only making a couple of PI difference at the moment. But, yeah, I was expecting more power. In all honesty, I was expecting a lot more power out of this car. In fact, we are now at the top of the class. Suspecting, no, we can get that on without affecting the PI. We'll get the drive line. We might even get the clutch in as well. Yep, we will, and maybe flywheel. Lots in the way of free upgrades, and there's no flywheel. Okay, flywheel's pushing it a bit too much. 661 horsepower, over 600 torque as well. I mean, they're good power figures, but they're not the highest we've seen, despite the car being by far the heaviest vehicle. So, yeah, it might struggle. It might struggle in terms of speed, or it could actually be quite nice and planted, and might fare better than I expect. We shall see. Of course, to test out the Rolls, we have come to the Reservoir Trail. I will get 3 runs through this course to go as quickly as I possibly can with the boat. Our current fastest time set by the Plymouth Hemi Cuda is a 2:32.7, and that was a mighty quick time. I would be surprised if the Rolls Royce can challenge it, but you never know. Certainly we haven't got the speed that the Ferrari had down the opening section. Handling actually not too bad through these opening corners. Quite pleasantly surprised, in fact, by the amount of speed that can be taken through those turns. The brakes are, it is a heavy car. Brakes are still not bad though. All things considered, that does get slowed down very, very well indeed. Now, are we going to be flat out through here? Yeah, no problems whatsoever. The back end perhaps moving around a teensy tiny bit, but nothing terrible. Stick out a little bit wide over there, trying to avoid the worst of the jumps. In fact, I think we can probably be flat out all the way down here. Yep, indeed we can. Across the bumps, no issues there. Ooh, big slide from the Rolls. End up out a little bit out of shape, but never mind. Have gathered it all back up again. We clipped. Okay, I don't think we want to take that jump from the left-hand side. That's not the first time we have just got to clip the wall. Not clip the wall, sorry, clip the ground as we've sort of initiated the jump, and that's caused problems for vehicles flying a little bit lopsided over there. We did get everything all out of position through one of the turns, so it's not going to be the smoothest of runs. I mean, it's... Ooh, careful now. Don't look too much up at the sky. Makes it very difficult to see where the bloody hell I'm going. Yeah, this is quite actually nice to drive. It doesn't quite feel like I'm racing a country house as much as I was expecting it to feel. It gets turned okay, it just doesn't have the acceleration, I don't think, around here to quite compete with the other vehicles that have run. And that's not surprising when most cars in this have been having, you know, 500-600 horsepower, and they've all been lighter than the Rolls. It's hardly surprising that it feels perhaps a little sluggish in places. It is doing well on the most part across these bumps, although this is about to go really badly wrong, I fear. We are twisted massively. We're going to end up... Oh, we're going to roll it! Yep, we have rolled the Rolls. Yeah, I got out of position beginning that section, and in my efforts to try and keep it flat out down there, which is what you really want to be doing if you want to set a quick time, we were bounced too far, or kind of thrown too far clear. I just couldn't bring it all back in line again. Okay. Pleasantly good handling. However, still things to consider when driving it. So it is on to the second run for the Rolls Royce, and I could really be do with keeping it out of the trees. I said, yeah, this car is better on the landing of the jumps. However, the jumps are still very big, and you're still going very fast. And even with a car like this, you can be thrown about a fair bit. Really surprised this can be almost flat out. I think it probably could be flat out through that first corner if you get it spot on. It's not quite as good a handling as I was expecting. I will be honest, I have experience with the Rolls Royce Wraith in Forza 6, the Rivals mode, to win the Aston Martin, where you had to race the Wraith. Many laps were turned at Brands Hatch, and I swore I would never drive this car again. Ooh, we have ended up out very wide. I was pushing it too much through there. Well, we completely clobbered the fence of the bridge, not quite fallen off the bridge. Yeah, either way, I swore I wouldn't drive the Rolls Royce again, and I haven't on Forza 6, but you guys wanted to see me drive it on Horizon 3, and it's actually not turning out to be too bad down here, which is... yeah, I am surprised, in fact, that it is taken quite so nicely to this course. Okay, we can... yeah, I can't... ooh, bloody hell, I can't get that jump quite correct. I can't believe how much speed we're taking. I keep turning into these corners thinking, surely this isn't going to work, and then it does, and it's absolutely fine. That's really... really surprising. Okay, Rolls fly through the air into the water, 111 miles an hour. No real problems cutting through the water with this vehicle, which is nice indeed. Okay, now this turn again will be flat out up here. Try and get a nice flat landing. We have not. Fortunately, that tree is destructible, otherwise we would have been in a lot of bother right there. Now, we've already had one kind of mess up with a watery corner. Let's try and not do the same coming through here. That's nice through there, actually. Let's try and still stick to the narrower parts without compromising your line too much through there. It seems to be working. The Rolls, no real problems through that section. Oh, we got out of place at a bad point right there. Plenty of airtime going on. So much airtime, in fact, that we're going to end up in trees again. Why am I having issues there? I don't know. That's very weird. That's very weird. The way the car has issues through there is peculiar as well. It's, yeah, not happy. Not happy at all down that section. I mean, I'm not holding out hope for a massively fast time from the Rolls looking at that, considering, yeah, we bumped a tree, but it wasn't a massive bump. I'm doubting we're going to be challenging the Hemi Cuda, but yeah, it's an odd way it's having issues. Well, it is on to the final run for the Rolls Royce, and the problems I was expecting to have with this car are not the problems at all. I was thinking it was going to be horrible through the corners, but it isn't. It's actually handling quite nicely. However, we are having issues with the jumps. We are flat out also through that first corner. That's quite impressive going from the from the Wraith. I wonder if perhaps this is now on the too heavy end of the spectrum. If the car's too light, it gets chucked about no end. by the jumps. But I wonder if, because this vehicle is so heavy, that when it is getting airborne, of course, we're still going plenty fast enough to get this vehicle airborne. When we are going airborne, if kind of the momentum of the vehicle is so much that it's really tough to get the car back under control, and perhaps if that is where we are having issues, I'm not sure. I wasn't quite expecting these problems from or hoping that we weren't going to be having these problems with the Wraith. Okay, much better through that first sector. Kind of almost feels like we're getting a lot more airtime with this car than some of the other vehicles that we have driven. I doubt it, because I don't think we're going faster, but it does feel like we are getting a lot of airtime in this vehicle. Right, neatly through that corner's caused so many issues for vehicles, but the Rolls Royce is through cleanly into the water. We go. It was worth a try to see with the gears. Didn't really lose any time in doing it either, so that's always good news. Now just throw it up here, try and not end up in the trees any. I really think it's struggling with its acceleration in comparison to what it's going to be up against here. Power to weight ratio in this is just not spectacular enough. It's carrying good corner speed. That is the good thing, and it is carrying really good speed through the water there. Probably better than anything else we've seen actually dealing with that water. But the struggles for the Rolls Royce is it doesn't really have that much more power than a lot of the cars that have gone here, and it's twice as heavy. And that's a big deficit in terms of power to weight ratio to try and make up. Now, with a little bit of a lift and a little bit of a better line down this back straight, we are doing better with the Wraith this time out. Get it turned for the final corner. We are not going to go faster as we cross the line. Not going to go faster than the Hemi Cuda. We are, though, going to do better than on the previous run. Yeah, pretty decent run, actually, with that Wraith, 238.6. I'm impressed with the way the car drives. That the Rolls Royce is actually a lot more fun to drive. Some decent grip going on in this vehicle that I really, really wasn't expecting. However, I think the poor power to weight ratio gives it issues. It really does. The time will put the Rolls into 7th place on our leaderboard. It is half a second down on the Volvo 850R. It does beat the Lotus 340R. It does beat the Audi Quattro. So yeah, it's certainly not the worst car. And as I said, the problems with it weren't quite what I was expecting. At times, yeah, the bumps are actually causing this vehicle issues as well. It is, a fair way down on the Hemi Cuda. Admittedly, that is miles quicker than the rest. We're talking a couple of seconds down on the Subaru SVX and the Ford Pursuit Ute. So, yeah, all in all, not a bad time. Not a bad time from the Wraith, and much more enjoyable than I was expecting it to be. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.